John, we have about 28 minutes left on the show today. I want to hit you with some rapid fire, all right? Just give me a couple thoughts on a name. I'll give you a name. All the names will come from the Eagles' free agent list, and I will start with the first name that's actually not a free agent, I don't believe, but I do think somebody worth mentioning as coming back or going. You just give me a rapid-fire thought when I say the name, either coming back, going, and just this is obviously your opinion, your thought process on why. You can give a couple thoughts on each if you feel the need to. Some of them might not warrant a couple thoughts. First one I'm going to start with, not technically a free agent, Jake Elliott.
He will be back, obviously, but I think you need to add competition at the bare minimum. So, I mean, they need to add somebody in training camp to push them. And I've talked all the way back to Dave Phipp days and say, well, because the Eagles haven't often bring in competition at the kicker or even punter position when they should have with Aaron Cepas. And they say, well, these guys are competing with other guys. They know the Eagles are looking at other guys who are in other camps and all that. But they need somebody in camp pushing Jake Elliott. I mean, and hopefully you don't have to draft a kicker. Some teams do. It's rare. Will Reichert worked out well from Alabama, another one of your guys. I mean, he's a all-pro kicker. I think he was a 6th-round pick. And you can get undrafted guys, high-level kickers. So Jake has struggled over the past 2 years mightily. And with all the influx of these young kickers kicking these monster field goals, I mean, you need to get better.
Next one, Braden Mann.
Yeah, I think Braden Mann will be back easily. Had a really good season. Not the best punter. I think people overrate. You saw Michael Dixon in the suit. That's the best punter. That dude's unbelievable. But yeah, very good year, very good player. And people don't value punting. You're punting less than ever, mainly because people are so aggressive and go for it on 4th downs. But you do need a good punter when you need that punt, and you're backed up. And Braden was easily, I would say, top 5, maybe top 10 in the NFL. So, yeah, they'll bring him back.
Grant Calcaterra.
I don't think he'll be back. I do think one of the guys will be back, and it might be Grant, it might be Colin Granson, as I mentioned in the previous segment. But I don't think, tight end 2 especially. It's like, yeah, you prefer to have a George Kittle can do things both, but most teams piecemeal it. And you want a threat as receiver, so you're looking for that, number one. But then you also need the blocking aspect of it. So most teams, the tight end 1 is the big receiver type, and the tight end 2 is the blocker. And I think that's how the Eagles should go about it. And Grant's strength is not blocking, so I think I would. Move on in that situation.
Agreed there. John, next player is Brandon Graham.
It's not going to – I don't think the Eagles should bring him back. I just don't. I mean, look, the guy is Mr. Eagle. I say it all the time for the people that think I'm being a hater. I mean, my favorite player ever to cover, phenomenal guy, everything about – but this is a young man's game. And you just, you already did you can't do it again. You did the great retirement with the 2 Lombardi trophies and the whole 9 yards, and then you force them back. But you got to be in a better position with your younger players. I wouldn't go down that route again with Brandon Graham.
I agree. Reed Blankenship.
Yeah, I'm bringing him back because I think it'll be easier than I thought. because he had a bad season. I think in a weird way it helps. I don't think he's going to make as much money as maybe he expected, or he changed agents to get a big money deal. I don't think that's going to be there for him. And Vic likes him, and Vic wants him. So as long as Vic's here, and if you can get him at a decent price, and I think they will, I think maybe more than all of the free agents, he's probably the most likely to be back.
Next one, John, is Jahan Dotson.
Out of here. Yeah, out of here. I mean, I don't think he wants to be back now, but again, there's shift. Can you talk him into? I think Jahan Dotson can play a little bit. So number one, that's where I'm coming from. I know not many people believe that because they haven't seen it.
I believe it.
Now, can they talk him into the same thing you're talking at much lower level, but same thing you're trying to talk A.J. Brown into and say, look, we're changing, you're going to be more involved, I guess. But I think somewhere will give him a better opportunity, a better clear-cut opportunity. Like it won't be, this is what we're planning to do. It will be with a more team that has consistently done it, and it will be a clear-cut, better opportunity to prove himself, because he's going to have to sign a 1-year prove it deal and get right back to free agency and hopefully prove that he can, still deserves multiple years and can be a contributor. So I think he'll be looking to go elsewhere.
I agree. John, Adoree Jackson is the next player.
Yeah, I think Adoree did a good job last year. I really do, after he settled down. But I do think, you want to get younger and you want to get better. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you can't, like we talked about, all right, if you're going to need an edge defender, a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, you can't get everybody. And cornerback 2's in that equation as well. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if you weren't able to get somebody to bring him back, because he's a professional. He knows how to play. But right now, I would certainly think that's not plan A. That would be, if nothing works out, if you don't get an upgrade in free agency, if you don't get an upgrade in the draft, then maybe you circle back and bring him back. But right now, I would say no, he won't be back.
John, next player is relevant, especially with the looming decision, which we think we have clarity on, of Lane Johnson. Fred Johnson.
No, I think it's the same as I don't think Fred will be back. I think he wants the opportunity to be a full-time starter. Now, he wanted that opportunity last year and never got it, so who knows?
Well, he did leave, remember. The Eagles had to trade for him back.
Yeah, but from the standpoint of plus, again, the Eagles are shifting gears. No more Stoutland, no more a lot of wide zone stretch stuff perceived to be where they're going. That probably doesn't fit the 6'7", 360-pound guy. So, I don't think Fred will be back.
Me neither. Good stuff there, John. Next one here, Brett Toth.
Yeah, Brett's interesting because Stout is gone. I mean, he was a Stout guy, but he played well, man. I try to bring him back because he is valuable and has proven himself as an interior backup that can play all three positions, which is what you want on game day. Game day interior backup's got to be able to play center, left guard, right guard, and he can do that. It'll be pretty cost effective. And I think also he moves well enough that he could project to be as good in this change as he was in the previous system. So I think he's not scheme dependent. I'd bring him back, but obviously you're not breaking it. I think that depends on the market. If you can get him back at a 1-year veteran minimum deal, I'd bring him back. But I don't know if you can do that the way he played last year.
Couple rapid fires here that I think are a little easier. Not much discussion, but we'll see what you say. Azeez Ojulari.
No.
Gone. Agreed.
Where were all those people during the Temu off season? Oh, he's going to be great.
That's why I prefaced that name with I didn't want people to think I was, All right, next, Joshua Uche.
No, Josh played well, man. When he played, and then kind of got benched. And understandably, I mean, you know, he, you bring Brandon Graham back, you trade for Jalen Phillips, and you get Nolan Smith back from injury, and there was just no spot for him. But he actually did well with his playing time early in the season, and I think he was. I don't think I know he's very frustrated that opportunity was taken away from him. But that's the life. I mean, it's almost like you sign for 1 year, a little bit over the veteran minimum, and people don't expect you to be playing as well as he did, and they assume it won't continue, and they go in a different direction. So it wasn't fair to Josh Uche, but yeah, he won't be back.
Next one is Ogbo Okoronkwo, or however you say his name. It's a tough one to say. Obo or whatever it is. John, back? No back? I don't think so.
No, he's not going to be back. He got hurt. He tore his pec, I believe. Might have been a triceps. I think it was a pec. And he missed most of the season. Yeah, he was kind of a surprise late addition. It was going to be, part of the rotation. But he got hurt, and yeah, he won't be back.
Next one, John, Matt Pryor.
No, will not be back. I'm a little disappointed. There's a guy, because he played so well in Chicago in 2024. And he got, because of all the injuries, he got a couple opportunities to play, and he just didn't play well. So, no, I don't expect Matt Pryor back.
Next player, John, A.J. Dillon.
No. It's amazing. I'm amazed. I think we're all amazed that AJ made it through the entire season. I think that's one of those deals like Nick Gates the year before. I think Howie kind of promised him, you're going to be here for the whole year. Yeah, just wasn't relevant or part of anything. Did buy the Positivity Bunny, though. That's what he's most famous for.
Yeah.
Eagles land.
Yeah, good one, AJ. Thanks for your contribution to the team and the Positivity Bunny. Okay. Marcus Epps, John, is the next name.
Yeah, did a nice job, when forced in action after Drew Makuba got hurt. But, at his age, his injury history, I don't think he'll be back. But again, he's a guy in the category. I put him more in the Adoree Jackson. Maybe if you don't get an upgrade, then you circle back later in the summer and bring him back. So I think there's a slight chance, but I certainly think they'd want to get a little bit younger and try to get an upgrade. And if not, maybe they bring him back later in the summer.
Okay, winding down the list here. I know we went rogue here, but I did want to address every name on the list. Ben Van Sumeren, who's actually a restricted free agent, so he's the one restricted guy on the list.
Yeah, well, he will be unrestricted. NFL teams rarely tender restricted free agents because those tenders have gotten so expensive. So he'll be a free agent, and there's a chance he could come back on a cheaper deal. But I do think it's notable that the Eagles signed a fullback in the futures market, Carson Steele, who did some work in Kansas City. Yeah, it's just difficult because Ben was going to be a big part of the plan this year, and his back-to-back seasons, torn ACL, then torn patellar. That's tough to overcome. Great dude. Wish he'd be back. But I don't think ultimately he will be.
John, last one here. Sam Howell, backup a third-string quarterback this year.
Yeah, I think Sam is out.
He'll 25 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam will want a backup job somewhere, and he'll get a backup job because he's got a lot of experience playing. He's a starter at one point. So, here was the third string guy, and that would continue. So I don't think he has any interest in returning, because I do think he'll get an opportunity somewhere to be a backup.
Good stuff there, John. And that's the list, everybody. You guys will notice if you're listening to the segment after the fact and you didn't watch the live show today. All right, I left off the 4 big names: Dallas Goedert, Reed Blankenship, Jalen Phillips, and Nakobe Dean. Those are the big 4, and all the others I think are kind of the fill-ins, but I did want to run through all the fill-ins. I think sometimes they get neglected, and we pride ourselves on Birds 365 to cover it all, John, so I did want to get to them. Happy we were able to do that. I don't know how many yeses I heard, John. I don't know. We rattled through like 20 players. I don't think I heard one yes, John. I think they're all gone, man.
There were a couple, Jake competition. I got to go through. Dory and Marcus are the circle back June guys. If you don't get upgrades, maybe you circle back. But yeah, most of them were the Temu guys who didn't perform. So, they're not going to be.
Reed, by the way, I forgot that. I did bring up Reed by accident, but I did bring him up.
Yeah, and Reed, I think, will be back.
Yeah.
Of that big 4, I think Reed is the most likely to return.
And let's just do it for those who aren't listening to the live show and didn't hear all the segments and who might be listening after the fact, John. Goddard, rapid answer?
No, will not be back.
Reed, you just said it, but go ahead one more time.
He will be back, I believe.
Jalen Phillips?
I believe he will be back. I think that's who the Eagles target. I think they find a way to get it done.
And Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe, yeah, I mean, he wants to be back. Vic wants him back. Everybody loves him. I just don't see the path. I just don't see how you bring him back. You drafted Jahad Campbell. The ceiling is immense on that particular player. I think people forget how well he was playing the first 6-7 weeks before Nakobe came back. He was in the Defensive Rookie of the Year conversation. That's how well he was playing. You don't sit that guy for another year. So to me, the only way you do it is you find meaningful roles for all 3 to where you can pay all 3 at significant salaries, which you do. Obviously with Zach, and you would be with Nakobe and Jahad because he's a first-round pick. How do you play all 3? I don't think you can play all 3. If, as Vic has already said on the record, you're not playing 3 all-ball linebackers in the modern game. You just can't. You get destroyed. So one of them would have to drop down as an overhang player, and Jahad was given 150 snaps on the edge last year, and they weren't effective. So there was little evidence he could do it. Now, ironically, I think Zach Baun could do it. But if you take Zach Baun and you put him on the edge, you're taking away the havoc he creates at the second level. So I don't think you want to do that. So I just don't see it. And by the way, the Eagles have pretty significant depth. Trotter played well in training camp last season, played well in the regular season when he got opportunities. Small Munden they like as well. So the only way Nakobe comes back is if the market is so concerned about his injury history. They say, we're not giving you 2 years. You got to prove it. And, he might want to sign a prove-it deal more with Philadelphia and something he's familiar with than somewhere else. But that's really the only way I could see him coming back. And I can't believe after the way he played last season that somebody out there won't give him multiple years.
John, I have limited information, and my opinion doesn't mean much because I'm not the owner, and I never will be. And but if I was the owner of the team, John, and maybe I'm off base, and maybe I'm not thinking about it right, and sometimes you got to make business decisions. I would pay Nakobe Dean, and I wouldn't really think twice about it. I think he's one of those players that supersedes just what he does on the field. I think he's a great locker room guy. I think he's a great ambassador for the organization, for the city. I think he's a smart dude. He's one of those guys to me that the contract is worth more than just what he does on the football field. But I do understand, obviously, the complexity, and I'm not as based in reality as you know what reality actually is. So, but I would pay Nakobe, man. I'm a big fan of Nakobe Dean, John. I think he's a guy that you just don't want to leave the building. But I do get, where you bring in the complex nature of that and why that's a challenge.
Yeah, I think everybody's on board with you from a Nakobe Dean standpoint as far as what he means, to the team, to the organization. But that stuff is secondary to,
Yeah.
The upside, and you're paying Zach Bond significant money. Jahad Campbell's a first-round pick, and again, I do think for whatever reason people forget how well he played in the first 5-6 games. His ceiling is much higher than Nakobe's. Just is.
No doubt about it. Good stuff. Johnny Mac, great show today, brother. It's 9:53. We'll let you run a little early. I can think of that phone, dude. You might need to put that thing down on the table for 30 minutes before you go on it.
Yeah.
That thing's probably set the turn on fire. John, your final thoughts here on a football. I thought we had some great segments today. Prevailed through the internet, as we always do, John. I thought we talked about some good stuff today. Your final thoughts on a football Friday, John. I mentioned it was week 4 of the offseason earlier. I think I was wrong, man. I think it's week 5 of the offseason we're wrapping up. I already got mixed up. It's crazy that we're already 5 weeks removed from the NFL season. Your final thoughts here on a football Friday.
My final thought is I'm surprised the phone held out. So
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. I can give a hat tip to, let's see, how can we rhyme? Smush Horizon.
I've been talking.
I give a positive to one and a negative to the other. There we go.
There you go, John.
You
good
can figure
show,
out which one's which.
Yeah, John. Good show, man. Enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you on Monday, brother. All right.
All right. Thanks all for hanging in.